Our last two examples here, number 7 and 8, continue off with a lot of the similar ideas here. Now, I just want to remind you, the directions for 7 are up top, right? But it's a different example than what we were given in number 6. So let's go reread. Let's figure out what's going on here. Now, before we do anything, the directions are the same. So that tells us ray EF is the angle bisector for DEG. What does that mean? Well, anytime we have an angle bisector, we have an angle split into two equal pieces. So this angle DEF and this measure angle FEG are equal. They are the same. Okay, so now let's see what they gave us. This one, number 7, is a little different. They gave us DEF is 5x minus 3. And they're also giving us FEG. Oh, yeah, this is different. See, now if you notice, watch, let's compare the two. In number 6, they originally only gave us, here, I'm going to erase this for a second. They only gave us the fact that we had part of it and the whole thing. So we needed 2 of these to equal the whole angle. This number 7 is different. They're giving us an expression for each of the 2 pieces. Well, think about it. What do we know? Well, these 2 halves are equal. So we're not going to set it equal to the whole thing. They didn't tell us anything about the whole thing. What we're going to do is we're going to set these 2 expressions equal to each other. Okay? So let's go ahead with 5x minus 3 equals 2x plus 15. All right? So be careful. Sometimes we add the expressions up and set them equal to 180. Sometimes we add them up and set them equal to 90. And sometimes we set them equal. It depends. All right, so I'm going to go grab my highlighter. Let's make our straight line here. All right, I'm going to subtract 2x, Okay, and that's going to give us 3x minus 3 equals 15. Moving along, we're going to add 3, and that's going to give us 3x equals 12. Oh, excuse me, not 12. I'm not subtracting, I'm adding. That's going to give us 3x equals 18. And I'm just going to take a little shortcut. Dividing by 3 gives us 6. Okay? Now I'm going to go test this, and I want to substitute 6 into both of my answers here. So let's see. 5 times 6 is 30, minus 3 is 27 degrees. And let's see. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 15. Yeah, good. That gives us 27 degrees again. If they wanted the whole angle, hint, hint, for next homework, we would just take 27 times 2, which would be 54 degrees. All right, cool. So that brings us to our last example here. Number 8 says solve for x and find the measure of GHI. All right, GHI. Oh, wait a second. GHI is over here. Okay, but here let's remember a couple quick things. I'm just going to grab green. These 2 angles are equal. So by the time we're done, whatever we get for angle EHF is going to be the same thing as GHI. But let's also remember another thing. This angle that I have in green and this angle I have in red, they don't have to be equal. But what we do know is together they form a straight line. So these 2 angles form a linear pair. Therefore, they're going to be supplementary. So I'm going to add them up and set them equal to 180. So my equation will look like this. 2x plus 50 plus 121 minus 5x equals 180. Okay, so just to make sure this is clear, here's the first part plus the second part equals 180. All right, let's do it. Again, my equal sign. And I'm going to clean up this whole left-hand side here by combining my like terms. Those are my x terms. Here are my numeric terms. So let's see what happens here. I have 2x minus 5x. That's negative 3x. I also have 50 plus 121, which is 171. All right. I'm going to subtract 171 from each side. I'm just going to take a little shortcut here. Whoops. I'm going to have negative 3x equals 9. Now, be careful. Divide by negative 3. So wait a minute. We're getting a negative answer. So I want to explain this. Getting a negative answer for a variable is fine, but we should never get a negative angle measure, right? Angles in degrees should be positive. All right, so let's see what happens here, though. I'm going to take my negative 3. Let's zoom in, okay? So now I have 2x. Whoops. Let's do this. I have 2 times x plus 50. But what is x now? Well, we just solved and found it to be negative 3. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6 plus 50. Wait a minute. We actually get a nice answer here of 44 degrees. So even though x was negative, I still get a nice positive angle measure of 44 degrees. All right, last part here. So I'm going to have 121 minus 5 times x. But we just found x to be negative 3. So I'm going to have 121, be careful, negative times a negative is plus 15. So I get 136 degrees. Okay. Now guess what? We're happy because 144 plus 36 is, you guessed it, 180 degrees. All right. So we've gone over 8 examples now. You have video, you have notes, you have answer keys. All right, so use this to study and become more fluent with the vocabulary and hopefully in writing your notation and finally solving your equations.